What's up guys? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about build quality on the Toyota Supra. So if you are new to the channel, this is my newly purchased 2020 Toyota GR Supra, which is manufactured by BMW. Overall, the quality is very good. I think overall it's a really good car. Very refined, easy to drive, comfortable to drive. There are a few things I've noticed as far as quality issues in my opinion. Not to say it's actually a crappy car or anything like that. And actually, before we move on, I know I'm going to get comments about the recall as far as the welding for the seatbelts. Apparently, only 7 cars were affected. So for people who freaked out thinking these are falling apart, 7 cars. That's like a fraction of 1% of the actual production line of these cars, because there's probably 10,000 or so that have been built already. So not exactly an issue. I am 99.9% sure my car is not affected. I'm sure the 7 cars are maybe like first 7 cars or something like that. But if we go with the first thing, which I gotta take the key out of my pocket to open the trunk, and I noticed this actually on another video from another channel, the Toyota badge, it's actually kind of falling apart already. There's like a little crack under it, but right in the bottom here, there's 4 little tiny cracks, as if the adhesive and this clear plastic piece are separating. There's actually a little bit on the top, and then a little bit over there. So it's not that that's a big deal, but you would think 2 weeks later that would not be doing that. So I'm assuming this is gonna end up pretty much falling apart. But that is the first thing that I have noticed. The second thing, and I tried to film it this morning, I could not get it to duplicate it, of course. When I drive the car, the door panels actually squeak a little bit, especially when I go over bumps. Now these are just really cheap plastic, in all honesty. This whole upper panel all the way around is just cheap plastic, but I'll notice around here it squeaks a little bit. Up in the front you'll hear a little squeak and rattle. Nothing in the bottom or anything like that, but especially on the driver's side, you know, since your head is right here, this is right next to your ear, so all you hear is squeaking and rattling. It doesn't happen on every road. It's particularly very bumpy, bad roads, so maybe like 90% of the time it doesn't do that, but when it does, it's really annoying. So I tried to duplicate it, couldn't do it, and I've tried taking the door panel off. I can't get them off either, because it looks like I have to pop off this plastic piece and the plastic piece in there, and they are really bolted on, so I have really no good way to get these out. And then the third thing that I have found with the car, and I can actually fix this, and that's what we're gonna do today, is fixing these cheap plastic things in here. So sitting in the car now to explain a little bit better about what I'm talking about with the water bottle. So I always have a water bottle with me. I drink a ton of water every single day, so I always have this, and just pulling it out, it's just so loud, it's right in my ear, and it's just a cheap plastic on plastic sound. To remove the center here, all we have to do is pull out this rubber insert. So just pulling this up and that piece out, and then we have a bolt up front, which you probably can't really tell, and then another one in the back. So I'll be using a T20 hex key, and that'll just go into the little bolt. Again, the lighting's probably not good inside of a cup holder, but just slowly undo that. All right, so with that out, what we're gonna do is give this a firm pull. Just like that. It's just a few little metal tabs on the bottom side, but that is the entire center. So then another good look at it, this actually has a Toyota badge on it. So it's almost like Toyota had one job with this car, and yeah, they did this. So here is a good look. It's just a little plastic tab right there, and when this goes up, it's just plastic hitting plastic. So what I think I can do is somehow put a little bit of silicone rubber on the actual tab. That way when this goes back down, it doesn't just hit the plastic. So next up with this piece, just going to actually take the cup holders off. So the same hex tool, we're just gonna take 4 more bolts off. All right, so we got the cup holder, but here we go. This has a satin aluminum trim to it, and then we can get a really good look at how these little pieces are. Like I thought, it is just plastic on plastic. And to me, this is very cheap, especially since I use it like 20 times every single time I'm in the car. So I'm going to use some silicone caulking, just clear stuff, and then a toothpick as my applicator. And I think I'm gonna start with maybe taking these springs out. That way these can stay open. But you can see those 2 pieces hitting. Basically, I wanna do a rubber bit in between them. All right. Alright, so that is everything out. Now there's no resistance. I can have these just left open and put some rubber on them and kind of see how that works. So I think that's about all I need to do. Just basically this piece of plastic, figure it as like a step on the this side over here, and putting rubber on it to where when it does contact this, you know, it's rubber on plastic. I'm gonna let it dry before I touch it because I don't want them to be glued together. But basically, I'm just gonna do that. So that is as simple as it is. Hopefully everything focuses nicely. You can see kind of what I'm working with. But that should definitely solve the issue with the crappy plasticky sounding cup holders. And that is it. Now, just let this thing dry, put it back in, and see if it works. Alright guys, so it is many hours later. It is finally pretty much dry. The caulking is just a little bit tacky, but that shouldn't really be a big deal. So as you can see, it's kind of turned clear. I know it's really hard to see with the lighting and everything, but that little bit of rubber on the end of this plastic is basically gonna do that to where obviously no more annoying noises or anything like that. Alright, this should be the best angle to show you. Take the spring, kind of break it in half like this. Obviously it's a spring, it's not gonna break, but do that to get it onto that piece, and that's it. Alright, that is all the springs back in place. That actually wasn't too bad. But now, as you can see, and it still is a little bit tacky. I'm gonna let this dry overnight with a cup in each cup holder. That way these are pushed out so it's not all tacky. Alright guys, so we have the part all ready to go. You can actually see it much better now that it's out in the light. But hopefully this will fix the one kind of annoying thing with the car. Kind of crazy seeing a brand new car already with pieces of the interior out. My goal was to get these door panels off, but that is just not gonna happen. And like I said this morning, they didn't make a noise. So, I don't know, hopefully they don't make any more noise again. Just lining it up very carefully. And that is it. So that's for a quick test. Let's see how it works. So with them in there, that sounds so much better. I don't know if that's gonna come off on camera, but it doesn't sound like cheap plastic anymore. It just sounds like, I don't know, normal, whatever you would want this to sound like. So I'm going to keep 2 bottles in here just to keep those open. That way nothing gets stuck in case it does. But that is it as far as build quality for the Toyota Supra. Overall, I think the car's put together very nicely. I think they did a good job. Just those few little issues with those sounding like cheap plastic, and then slight rattle, which did go away today, and then these badges, which that isn't a good thing. I'm not a fan of how that's already disintegrating. But worst case, I can pop these off and get like traditional badges or something, or maybe even do something different than a Toyota badge. I don't know, maybe a BMW badge. I know a lot of people would recommend that. But I think that is about it. That is gonna sum up today's video, talking about some build quality for the 2020 Supra. Overall, it's an amazing car. I love it, and I think it's put together very nicely. But that is gonna be it for today's video. Give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next video.